Hi, I'm Hugh Hardie, and I'm going to be taking a look at this new sample pack from Sample Genie. It's called BRISTOL Keys, and it's a collection of recorded pianos. And I'm going to have a look through the folders and just sample some of the loops and chords and see what we can make. So I've got a rough drum beat here to use to sketch over. So let's start by looking in. So the pack's divided into various sub packs. The first one is the church pack. So let's have a look in here. Then within the church pack, we've got solo chords, sequences, and effects. And then another bunch of folders within those folders. So why don't we try all church chords. And immediately I can hear the quality of the recordings is really nice. Yeah, so let's drag some of these chords in, start making a loop. So we had, yeah, that's lovely. So start with that one and then that one. And it looks like the chords are arranged in a way that sort of makes nice melodic sense, harmonic sense. So you can hear sort of going from this F minor to the A flat is a nice harmonic change. So yeah, having them arranged this way is nice because you can make sequences very quickly and easily. And obviously we can pitch these chords around to any key we want as well. Yeah, I mean already that's just a really lovely sequence. And you can sort of imagine making that into a tune already just from these 4 chords. They just sound so nice because they've been recorded live in a church, I assume. Okay, let's try some more on top. Okay, so these ones seem to be higher up the piano. Oh yeah, we're getting some really nice lush top notes. And you can really hear the harmonics in these recordings, and that's something that would be very difficult to recreate in the box. A chord like this, it's got those lovely live harmonics in it. One might not work. Yeah, really lovely stuff. Having these chords here and this, like this, is, yeah, it can be very easy to create an instant vibe just from plucking out a couple of these chords, and this is only just from the very first little folder out of a whole bunch of folders. Yeah, really, really emotive, nice, emotional resonance. Yeah, I mean, straight away this sort of could turn into a tune. And I like that the samples have nice long tails, or reverb tail, so you get all this sort of atmospheric stuff that happens after the keys are lifted and the pedal sustains. So there's long tails where you get these nice harmonics and tones. And this sort of thing is really nice to reverse, and then we can start making sort of atmospheres and pads by reversing these single chords. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that I do quite a lot. It's nice to make your own pads and atmospheres from samples just like this. And you can use this sort of thing in intros to tunes, or breakdowns, or outros, or just as pad layers to layer on top of your main musical ideas. And you can hear how that would make a nice sound for an intro, and it's a good way to just set a vibe, which is very important sometimes, because when you're starting with a blank canvas it's quite hard to find inspiration, but you have a bit of an atmosphere to work with. it makes life a lot easier. And these chords, because they have these interesting 7th and 9th notes in there, they'll create really lush and complex pads. And you can hear there's sort of there's a nice noise. So I've put a filter on this and compressed it very heavily, and you get this kind of interesting kind of buzzing sound, which we get from compressing the recording. And it's because when you record live, you get you pick up some of the ambience and atmosphere of the room, and when you compress that, you get this cool texture, which you probably wouldn't get from a piano created in the box. It sounds slightly weird and dissonant, but when we maybe EQ it a bit, and then layered with our main chords, it creates this cool layer which has a lot of texture and a little bit of grit. Another thing we could do with that is sidechain. So now this pad that we've just created is sidechaining to the kick drum, and yeah, we get this nice pulsing rhythm. And something like this you could just use as a very subtle layer, just to add a bit of texture and depth. Yeah, I mean, yeah, great samples, super quick. We've got an instant vibe going here. Let's try some of the other stuff. Okay, so church chords, they were very nice. Effects. So this is more of a sort of sequence. Yeah, so that's a lovely little sample, and this particular recording, it sounds like it's got more of the atmospheres of the room built in, which is nice. So that yeah, that would be a nice little loop that we could start a vibe with. So let's try maybe sequences. Okay, so within sequences, within the church pack, we have another 5 folders, and within these folders we have, so this is now chord progressions, and it's nice that in the description it tells us exactly what the chords are, which could be helpful if we wanted to try to replay it or add some notes. We know exactly what the key and the chords are. So yeah, it's nice having these these long recordings that we can maybe chop up and resample. So there was a nice bit in the middle here. Yeah, those last notes are cool. So this is a bit of a sort of darker, more moody vibe we got here. A bit different to the first vibe we had. Yeah, that sounded nice. So let's drag this sequence in. Let's swap that. Okay. That end bit sounded cool. Try a big reverb on this little chop here and see what that does for us. Yeah, it's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Let's just get a filter on that to automate it. So yeah, these loops, these samples here are cool because we can use them to chop up and start creating our own textures. And then possibly from this we can start building maybe our own chords around them. And it's nice to, yeah, this basically is setting a tone for us. To build on, so that's cool. Let's try adding some more. So I'm gonna go into another of the sequences folders from the church pack. Yeah, that's cool. I like those low notes. The way they kind of were played has a lot of what's the word? It's got a interesting sound. That one might not fit in this particular loop. Piano 5. Okay, let's use that one. Let's try reversing this. Yeah, so yeah, we've got the nice little makings for a nice moody liquid number here. And like I say, this is yeah, it's a really good way to start a tune, because sometimes if you just have if you have nothing, you have the blank canvas, it's pretty hard to find, to know where to go. But if you, with these, when you start chopping up these samples, it starts making suggestions about a mood or an atmosphere or a vibe, and yeah, it's a really great place to start with. Yeah, super nice. So yeah, it's nice having the contrast between some of the samples have a more emotional feeling to them, sort of sad and melancholic, and these ones are a bit moodier and a bit darker. Okay, let's try another pack, the Stro Manga pack. So again, we've got solo chords, sequences, experimental, and then melodies. Let's have a look in experimental. And then within that folder we have experimental, string hit notes, strike effects. So this yeah, so these are effects where the pianist has, you know, you do that, but they've done something very cool to get these cool effects sounds. Let's try some of these. Oh, so this will be from hitting the open string on the piano instead of the key, and you get this really plucky sound. These are nice. Let's see if we can bring some of these in and use them. So this is the sort of thing which is very nice to compress, because you pull out all of these, all of the artifacts and the mechanical noises that the recordings would have picked up, and you can just hear the pluckiness and the percussive character that these hits have. Yeah, and you kind of, that's something that you get from a live recording, but you don't necessarily get from an in-the-box piano sound. Again, they've got the really nice long tails, so we could chop these bits up and make nice atmospheric pads out of them. So let's maybe just create a simple kind of melody with these hits. Yeah, really lovely stuff. The character of just these single notes is so interesting and complex. So straight away we've got a vibe building there, and you can imagine starting to layer up some strings or some other atmospheric pads, some vocal cuts, and straight away we start building the basis of a tune. Let's have a look through some of the other samples. Melodies. So these are single note melodies played up top with the right hand, and let's try them in our tune. Let's maybe try reversing that one. Yeah, cool, super interesting. Let's pitch it down another octave. -3, -15. And this is the sort of thing which you can use as a sort of melodic element to introduce maybe a few 16s into the drop of our tune. Yeah, just as an extra layer, which you could layer on top of our bass line or our main chords once we had those. And yeah, it's super interesting. It's got a kind of a bit of a weird character to it. you can see how you can start building really interesting subtle layers using these samples, which is something which will add a lot of depth to a track. And stuff like this you could have really low down in the mix. Just keep it nice and subtle, and it just builds an atmosphere and a tension in a tune. Lovely, lovely stuff. Okay, let's have a look. Bonus Honer sequences. It's a nice sequence. Have a go at this one. Okay, maybe let's leave that then for now. Yeah, so just from a sort of quite quick flick through of some of these samples, we see how we can very quickly start building a vibe to start a track with. And yeah, just the tone of these recordings is really beautiful. And if we replayed these chords in a sort of a simple piano VST, it would sound nowhere near as good. So yeah, this pack will be very useful for, I think, using some of these long chords and some of these effects and sequences for creating these sort of atmospheric loops, which we can use as pads and textures in tunes, which will be a brilliant way to start tunes from scratch, and which is often the hardest part, just starting a vibe when you have nothing. Having samples like these is a really great way to do that. And then yeah, I really like these chord hits, especially some of these ones in this church pack. We didn't even have a look at the Dorian or the Seventh, but yeah, some of these first ones are just lovely, and the way they're arranged to fit sort of sequences already makes them very accessible and easy to arrange. Cool. Okay, so yeah, that from a quick flick through of some of the samples, yeah, they sound really lush, really nicely recorded. I love the fact that you get these mechanical noises and the atmospherics and ambience of the room built into the recordings. Stuff like that adds so much depth and character to the sounds, to the piano sounds. That sort of thing is quite difficult to recreate with the piano VST. I mean, it's impossible to recreate with the piano VST. You can't get it sounding as good as a live piano, professionally recorded. Yeah, this is going to be loads of fun going through the samples, and I can see this leading to lots of new tunes and new ideas. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out more of these samples. There's a lot to get through here.